Understanding fascia can help us understand our entire biology. So before any other structure forms in the body, before your bones, your muscles, your immune cells, your lymphatic system, your nervous system, before any of that forms, the first structure to form in the body is fascia. And at the start of life, it's a gel-like substance. And within this gel, there are stem cells that become our bones and muscles and the rest of the body. So fascia is the first structure that forms at the start of life, and it shapes everything else that follows. And instead of just being a connective tissue, which it's often referred to as fascia is a connective tissue, it's not a connective tissue. It is the actual fabric that everything is formed from and lives within. So it's a living matrix. At the start of life, it holds information, the blueprint for our body to self-assemble, self-organize, self-emerge. It holds the information for the way we can move with ease as we age, right? So it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still move, you can have mobility if you can understand fascia as our fabric of embodiment. So it's not just inside of us, it is us. We are fascia. So let's look at the word and where it began. So anatomists looked at the body at the end of life to understand how we were formed. And fascia was this kind of stuff that would scrape away. They'd scrape away to get to the muscle, not realizing how important this fabric is in helping us to understand our immunity, the way that we process information, the way trauma becomes held within the body. So the new research on fascia is helping us to understand the sensory nature of this tissue, how everything, our biology integrates and communicates within this matrix, and how essential movement is and the type of movements that actually can reduce inflammation and boost our immune system, can help us stay supple, strong, and vital as we age. So what is fascia made from? So let's just look at the start of life. It starts out as a gel, and there are stem cells within this gel at embryo stage. Before anything forms, there are stem cells. And these stem cells can differentiate to become muscle, bone, nerves, and so on. And some of those stem cells become part of the fascia matrix by producing collagen, the protein collagen, elastin, and this ground substance, the stuff outside that our body is filled with. So 2/3 of our body is water. Fascia is made from protein, starch, and water. And most of it, the most abundant form of this matrix is the water. So the structure, the way that we become who we become in our structure is made from collagen, super strong. Elastin gives us elasticity. And then the water is where the hydration happens. And hydration is the exchange, is a fluid exchange between the cell and outside the cell. And the health of that, the water in our body, will determine our vitality, how efficiently toxins are removed from our body in this exchange. And this is why fascia is much more than just a connective tissue. Also, the sensory nature of fascia can help us to tune into our body and restore our vitality. So if you can understand this fabric, this matrix, it can unlock self-healing and so much more. We can learn how to calm our mind through the body, for example, which we do in soma sensing. So let's just recap. Fascia's made from collagen, elastin, and then this ground substance. And it holds the blueprint of information. So when we can tune into our body's sensory awareness, so the sensory nature of fascia, we can self-adjust, We can release areas of stuckness and strain. Oh, by the way, when you feel stressed or anxious or overwhelmed, the information becomes held within your fascial matrix. You feel stuck, stiff, you might have inflammation, and any autoimmune response is a result of this matrix being compromised. So the vitality of your body's fascia is compromised through stress, overwhelm, trauma. And when we learn how to tune in to our body in the somatic way, we can learn how to soften areas of strain in our body's tissue, our fascia, because stress shows up as strain, tension, and we can change the biochemistry. We can find soothing, rocking, coaxing, pulsing movements that release oxytocin, the hormone that nurtures us. So it influences our biochemistry, which is where movement becomes really essential. And the type of movement, the best way to revitalize your fascia is through a process called fascial unwinding. It is movements that emerge when your body comes into a deep state of rest or quiet, where quiet is not being completely still, but listening to where your body feels most easeful. That's one way. And we can unlock these blueprints of movement. So oscillation, coaxing, pulsing, to rehydrate our body's fascia and restore our vitality. And understanding fascia in this way will help us to look at our body as a whole, not exercise as separate, but movement as part of our way of being. So fascia as our fabric of embodiment helps us to recognize how we feel. And so, for example, if you've had a stressful day and you think, I still have to have a workout at the gym, it changes the way you relate to your body. And knowing the kind of movement that you would choose for that day, for example, because when your fascia is really hydrated and vital, you're going to feel the urge to do more, to run, to jump, to go for a longer walk. And we need to shift our paradigm of the way that we connect with ourselves, with our body, the way that we exercise. And I haven't used that word exercise for many years, because we need to connect with our natural movement patterns, the natural way the body feels the urge to move. And something I really want to highlight here is that people often think that when I say rest, I mean that you need to come to complete immobility. That's not what I mean, because remember, immobility can put you into chronic fatigue, into overwhelm, or into shutdown, right? So what I mean by rest in the soma sensing term, it's to rest your sensory, your sensory overwhelm. So you're bringing your body sensation to quiet, to allow movements to emerge. And sometimes those movements can be big. They're not always gentle. They can be big, expansive movements like a pandiculation to revitalize from the inside out. And when you have chronic fatigue, movement is absolutely essential. And the reason that your body wants movement is because fascial unwinding are movements that recharge and revitalize your body. They give you energy. They don't take away energy. So this is why it's so important. Now, if you want to experience movement in this way, you can go to this session here, or you could go to this one here that it gives you kind of different orientation of movement. So let me know how you get on with that, and you can always send me a comment below.